project manager for the term. So essentially, he will be your customer for the term, laying out the requirements of the project, and you are going to basically struggle with him to nail down what you need to implement to get the passing grade for our project, right? So we like basically him to interact with you, start with some kind of murky specification, then gradually you work with him to refine into a product that you can implement and deliver to him. Okay, so he's not going to talk about this today. He's just here so that I can introduce him to you. Because this Thursday, actually, he actually will be in charge of the class. I'll be away for a project review in California. So he will be here, basically demo the kind of tools we expect you sort of using during your project, talking about tools, and also spell out the requirements for the project. Okay, so you are so the preliminary project description is already online on our website. You can check them out. So these are preliminary, so subject to change. He may adjust it as he think more about the project. At the same time, you guys, if you have questions, you can already email him to clarify questions. This will help him nail down the project more. It's actually part of your project requirement to work with him to nail down into something you can convert into code. Okay, that'll be our goal for this for the project. So he will be here Thursday, 12 o'clock, first to talk about the tools you are expected to use during your term, the project, and also clearly lay out the project requirement. Then we'll have, start 1:20, you'll have another quiz. You'll finish by yourself, and his job is to basically talk about the tools and also give you the project. Okay? He will be back Thursday. I hope you will be back Thursday. Okay? So we don't have to keep him here today. So just remember that I will not be here on Thursday, and Haifeng will be here instead to demo the tool. He's definitely a better tool user than I am, right? So certainly I think that will be more helpful for you guys than I demo the tool, and he will also lay out the project. So he is basically the person over the other side, spelling out requirements, and you are fulfilling the requirements he laid out. Certainly there will be some misunderstanding because he intentionally put in something that's not so clear, and it's your job to refine it into something that can be converted into code. Okay, make sense, guys? All right, so we will not keep you waiting here. So so as the class, we'll see you Thursday.
Okay. See you guys Thursday.
All right. So coming back to our schedule, a little adjustment to the schedule. Today, actually, I'm going to talk about the requirement chapter. We'll leave the tool demo and talk about tools to Haifeng to deal with on Thursday. Okay. And also, he will be giving your project requirement. It's already there. You can read. You can think about it. If you have questions, bring all the questions here Thursday. Okay, go ahead.
Where are the project requirements?
It's right here. I just posted. He just created that. It's right here. Hopefully it worked. Yeah. These are the project requirements. You can take a look. All right. Certainly, after class, okay. Now we have something more important to talk about. You have 2 days basically to review, and if you have questions, certainly come here with your questions, and hopefully he can address most of your questions in class. You can always email him to clarify. This is the kind of interaction we would like you to have with the project manager. Start with something not so clear, and turn it into something clear and ready to implement. Okay? So we'll
implemented? I can't find it.
What?
I can't find it on the website.
So okay, you should probably have to reload your website, your web page one more time. then it will show up.
Oh,
Yep. So your browser typically will cache the old website for your convenience, but it's just not up to date. All right. Today we are going to start on requirement chapter. So it's a long chapter. We'll spend 2 lectures on it. It's actually one of the most important chapters in our term. Remember, the goal for our class now is to convert you from being able to code into somebody else's template into someone can actually creating a project, creating a program from ground up. So to do that, you need to figure out what exactly to implement. Okay? This is not in a class when they like our quiz, right? In the quiz, I receive no questions from you guys. Why is that? Quiz. Because the requirement is so clear. You'll be wasting time asking me a question, right? It's so clear, you know exactly what I expect, you know exactly what to implement, right? Linked list you already learned. So if you have that kind of clarity, then most people can code into it. However, for instance, if for the last Thursday implementation, when we used the array to implement a linked list, that's an interesting twist, because if you don't know the requirement, then why would you implement some linked list with the array, right? You don't have the requirement, say, I really need high performance. I don't want to allocate memory every time. I want the memory to be ready, allocated, I just reuse them, then that's the right implementation. But that you have to think about it to make that decision. Okay? So Thursday I won't be here. I will be in UC Santa Barbara for my project review. This essentially is, 40% of my job is teaching you guys. All the classes I teach in the department. 40% of my time is actually doing research for the university. So 20% of my job is actually serving on all kinds of committees. For instance, review you guys' application to a graduate school, or so that kind of thing. If you continue into our master's program, which is actually very good return. Okay, so basically your pay, 1.5 year master's program, will boost your pay about 35%. It's a very good deal. And also, if you graduate with our own undergrad degree with a 3.0 GPA, you don't need to take the GRE. You're in. Okay? So it's a very good deal continuing into our master's program. And certainly, 20% of my job is doing that. Basically, look at for you guys. I don't have to look, because if you graduate from PSU, they don't even come to my committee. They basically just zip through the secretary's desk, and you guys are in, right? So it's actually a fairly good deal. If you get a degree here, you got a reasonable GPA. You are basically automatically admitted into our master's program if you want to, which actually is a very good investment for your money. So for the other 40%, you don't see me. I work with students like iPhone to do research projects. And a big part of research project is to create something new. To do that, we need money. I need to pay students like iPhone already. Although graduate students don't get paid so much, right? But you still need a lot of money to pay them. In that sense, you can imagine PSU is a small business, congregate a number of small business. All your professors are basically going out and getting funding to fund graduate students to do their research. So that is another 40% of my job. All right. So I'll be doing that on Thursday. So I will have iPhone to substitute for me for Thursday. Okay. Back to our. Lecture. Requirement. Fundamentally, your job is to write software to solve a problem. Okay? If you have no problem to solve, writing software is just for fun. Okay? That is also a problem to solve because you are killing your time. Okay? Just pass time you want. Oh man, I don't have anything else to do. I just write some program. That's fine. Okay? But most other time, you write software to address a problem. Either it's your own problem or somebody else's problem. Okay? So and fortunately, most of the time, we got paid for addressing somebody else's problem by writing code. Okay? But the fundamental question you need to answer first is what exactly is the problem you're addressing? If you don't even know that, just like you come to my test and you don't even understand the problem, okay, do you think that you have a high chance to get the problem right? That's exactly the purpose of requirement stage for software engineering. Okay? Essentially, you're trying to figure out the problem you're trying to solve. Before you think about solution, you have to nail down exactly the definition of the problem. There are a lot of things to talk about. I mean, to make it succinct, we just say, okay, we'll try to determine what the customer needs. Okay? The customer can be yourself. You're writing the software just for fun. Okay? That's a sort of one way of entertainment. It's just like go play basketball after class. The same deal, right? So you're addressing a problem. Okay? The customer can be yourself. So we'll look at how we actually carry out different steps we take to come up with requirements. All right? So first question we need to ask is, what must the product be able to do? That is actually a central question. If you don't know what the product is supposed to do, you start coding. What will you get? Can be anything or nothing. Most likely going to be nothing. And may actually be something, right? So this is, you may actually have a great discovery. That's a possibility. But most of the time, you're wasting your time. Okay? So first of all, the question is, what must the product be able to do? All right? So just like the weather app on our phone, you actually, know pretty much what you expect that app to do. Right? When I open the app should be able to return the weather condition of the location I'm at right now. Or if you are the kind of privacy aware people, you will say, okay, I turn off my location, then this app should give me the option to input a location and retrieve that weather data for me. Okay? So these are pretty much the fundamental two functionality your app should be able to do. Right? With that equipped, I think if we clarify that to this level, most of you guys can actually go back and learn how to create an Android app and code that app and display to me. I'm actually confident that everybody here should be able to do that. Okay? Because logic is very simple. You have a dialog box asking for location, either in terms of zip code or name of the city, with state, country, and that information. Certainly, you have to pay attention to a lot of details. Say, your dialog box should be able to self-correcting, right? If I input something wrong into your dialog box should be able to say, it's not what I expected, right? But that's some detail. At the beginning, we can assume that every user is smart enough to input the correct information for address, for location. Then I'm just going to contact a web server, send my request over, and get the information back, and display that information. Okay? That is actually the requirement of our weather app. Then, to make it fancier, you can say, the first thing I do is when you launch the app, if your location service is on, I'm actually should be able to acquire the current location information from your location services. Then continue with our functionality of fetching the weather information for the locality. Make sense? Okay, so that is the process for us. Actually, we are talking about requirements. Are we talking about how exactly you're going to code up the app? No. We're just talking about the app from outside. Okay? When we talk about requirements, we're talking about your projection, your imagination of the system from outside of the system. Okay? That is requirement. We are not going into the system. You are basically standing outside of the system and say, okay, what exactly this system should have. Buttons, menus, dialog boxes, or voice control, you can imagine, but you are not going into the system. You are actually standing right outside of the system, being the user interacting with the system. Okay? That is the question you're trying to answer. What must the product be able to do? Basically, my weather app is, if I launch an app, if there is no location service, there should be a dialog box for me to input location information, then get the information back and display the weather information for the location I input. Okay? I'm not into your system. I'm just standing outside your system trying to say what the system should be doing. Or if the location service is on, your app should automatically display the information, the weather information for the current location for me. Okay? I'm not going into the system. I don't tell you how you implement the system. I don't even tell you what programming language you use to implement the system. I'm just saying, okay, I would like to have this functionality from the app you will provide to me. That is the stage of requirement. We are trying to figure out that. If I can figure out that out with you, then I can write this down and hand that to you and say, go implement this. And I'm the customer, you are the provider, you are the programmer, development team. That's our contract, boom. Okay? Whether I pay you or not, that's a different story, right? Probably not, because I already have a free app right here, right? But for practice purposes, yeah, that's a very good exercise to do. You actually will learn how exactly to create an Android app, how to add functionality to an empty Android app, and do something useful, right? That's the benefit you're getting from doing that. Okay, so that is, we must figure out what the product is going to do. That's the requirement stage. So here is something that you have to keep in mind. So we must determine what the client needs, not what they want. Okay? People want a lot of things, right? But you have to basically educate them to make sure that they understand what you can do for them and what they can get for their money. Okay? They can make a lot of demand. But basically, what you're saying is, hey, for the amount of money you're paying me, this is the functionality you're getting. Hopefully, this addresses a real problem you have. Otherwise, you're going to complain, I spent my money, but I get nothing back. Right? So essentially, you are trying to figure out what they need, what problem. They must have a problem they want to address. For instance, I'm having trouble getting weather information. I need that app. If I don't need the app, you come to me and say, I'm going to implement the app for you. Do you think I will pay you? No. So essentially, you're trying to figure out something. Okay, they need something from you. If you implement that for them, then you get some kind of compensation back. Remember, if you're going to build something, it's going to be quite costly, because each hour of you will cost $80 to $100 per hour. Who will pay for that chunk? So this is software business, okay? So your time, your programming time is a commodity, the currency essentially in our business, okay? If we're going to spend that on something, we better get real money back in some form, right? Certainly you can say, I'm basically selling software, right? There are still plenty of people selling software. For instance, I haven't done my tax yet. I actually spent $40 for the version of HR Block tax software. I have that installed and trying to file my tax probably tonight with that piece of software system. Okay, that is a traditional way of making money developing software systems, right? I download a copy of HN Block software system, install that on my computer, and to get that license, I pay HN Block $40 for that price. Okay? I mean, I can guarantee you there are a bunch of developers just like you on the other end working for HN Block actually created software sometime before. Okay? Then hopefully your goal is to sell as many software as possible. Then that can compensate for the developer sitting behind the curtain doing the software for us. I mean, certainly that software, that's not the only way they make their money. So basically, then you can, if I want to file the state tax with HR Block, I have to pay another $20 to get the software piece, add-on software for the HR Block software. Okay, that way you got paid. You are working on Oregon tax software for HR Block. If I buy additional $20 worth of software, then you basically got $20 back at your team, right? Your hope is enough people buying